Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A very warm welcome to yet another session of Weekend with Wisdom. And since yesterday, Swamini Satyavratananda ji has been kindly taking us through a very less discussed aspect, Bhagavad Gita Grantha Granthi shlokas, which are not usually discussed. And without much further ado, I'll just start with a small prayer and then let Swamini ji start her session. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Viewers, if you have any questions, you can post it in the Q&A box, and Swamini will take it up towards the end of the session, last 15-20 minutes. Swamini ji, please start your session.
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुशं दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी. We have come to the fourth session, the final last Grantha Grandhi Shloka. It comes in 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. 4th shloka and 5th shloka together seen as Grantha Grandhi shlokas. This 9th chapter comes in Madhyama Shatkam, where Ishvara Swarupam is described. Tatpada Vichara has been given in this middle portion of Bhagavad Gita. In the Mahavakya, Tatu Tvam Asi. Tvam is inquiry into the individual nature. Jiva Vichara. In the Madhyama Shatkam, Tatpada Vichara, Tvampada Vichara, first Shatkam, Tatpada Vichara, in the Mahavakya, Tatpada, that Vichara is Vichara means inquiry done in this 9th chapter, 7th chapter, 9th heavily. Therefore, Tatpada Vichara is the subject matter of Madhyama Shatkam. From 7th chapter onwards up to 12th chapter, Ishvara Swarupam is elaborately given by Lord Krishna. What is Ishvara Swarupam? We have to understand. Just as Atma, individual nature, is presented from 11th verse onwards up to 25th verse. Similarly, in Madhyama Shatkam, also Paramatma Vichara, Paramatma nature, Ishvara's nature, is given from 7th chapter, Paraprakriti, Aparaprakriti, introduced there, and that is expanded maximum they have presented in this 9th chapter. That is in June form, like 9th chapter. expanded form. This Ishvara Swarupam also, just like Jiva Swarupam, morning what I said, when I say I am is a mixture of spirit and matter. Spirit is known as in Vedanta Sat and Chit. And matter, Prakriti, that is body mind complex, Chidabhasa. Put together, I am. So to utter I am, that mixture is required. Without that, there is no Jiva. Atma, Satchit, and Anatma, body mind complex. Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram, Shariratrayam plus Sat and Chit. Higher I, lower I, mixture. Higher I alone cannot contact, interact, cannot do Vyavahara. Lower I alone, Chidabhasa doesn't exist without Sat and Chit. Gross body, subtle body, and causal body. Three bodies are inert, they cannot claim I am. That word cannot be uttered. So both are mutually corroborated, both are jointly functioning together. This is about Jiva's nature, higher and lower. Higher and lower means what here? What we have to understand? Orders of reality, higher order of reality, lower order of reality. Less real, lower order of reality means less real than higher order of reality. To understand this higher order and lower order, you can remember our dream. Our dream is less real than our waking state. Our dream is less real than our waking state. So waking state is more real than dream state. So dream state, we call it as Pratibhasika Satta, projected reality, and Vyavaharika waking state is called relative reality. So we are in relative reality now, relating with objects, relating with people. We are able to do Vyavahar. That is why it is called Vyavaharika Satta, Vyavaharika Satyam. Once we go to sleep because of Nidra Shakti, we go to dream, and that dream is Pratibhasika Satta. We all of us know that is less real. That is less real, we know. I, the waker, am more real. Dreamer is my own projection. Therefore, it is less real. How you are able to understand this realities, two different realities, Pratibhasika and Vyavaharika. Same way, you have to understand Vyavaharika and Paramarthika. Paramarthika Satta is higher nature and Vyavaharika is lower nature. What is that Paramarthika Satyam? Absolute reality, higher order of reality. Sat and Chit. Brahman. Brahman is Vyavaharika Satyam. That Vyavaharika Satyam, Brahman is Paramarthika Satyam, and Ishvara also comes under Vyavaharika Satyam. Vyavaharika Satyam is relative order of reality. But this is very difficult to accept. We are Vyavaharika Satyam, so okay. Our dream is Pratibhasika Satyam, that is also fine. But how we can accept Ishvara as Vyavaharika Satyam, that we are going to see now. So Ishvara Swarupam we are seeing. In that Ishvara Swarupam, Bhagavan, here Lord Krishna presenting himself as not like Dwaraka Krishna or Vasudeva Krishna. Lord Krishna presenting himself from the higher order. That is para prakriti. If you remember 7th chapter, para prakriti and apara prakriti. Apara prakriti is lower order of reality. Para prakriti is higher order of reality. So the para and apara alone we are seeing in the 9th chapter. Again it comes in 13th chapter also. Lord Krishna presents in different format, different names he gives. That is the difference. But fundamental teaching is same only. There is no difference in fundamental teaching. Names may be different, technical presentation may be different, but that fundamental teaching, the content is same. There is no difference in content. 7th chapter, 9th chapter, and 13th chapter, the content is same. Ishvara Swarupam. In 13th chapter, Asipada Vichara in Mahavakya comes there. Now in 9th chapter, in 4th verse onwards, up to 10th verse, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, totally 7 verses. Lord Krishna talks about Ishvara Swarupam. What are the features of Ishvara? The Lord. Just as Jiva's features are Ekaha, Nityaha, Satyaha, Aprameyaha, Akarta, Abhokta, all these Jiva Atma features. Similarly, Paramatma features also presented from this 4th verse onwards. We are going to see 4th and 5th, which are coming under Grantha Grandhi Shlokas, because both are interconnected. Now, what are the features are given? Let us see, and we enter with the shlokas, and I will give what are the features. Then I will elaborate that. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadyaktamurtina masthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavastitah nachamastani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhuta bhrinna cha bhutasthah Mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. These are the 2 verses, 4 and 5. Now, what are the features are given from 4th to 10th verse? We will see. Here also some features are given. First feature of Paramatma is given here, Avyakta Murti. Avyaktam is the first feature of Paramatma, the Lord. Here Krishna means here consciousness. Krishna means consciousness. Not Krishna consciousness that comes in the mind immediately. Krishna means consciousness. There is no Krishna consciousness, Rama consciousness, Shiva consciousness. So Krishna is equal to consciousness in Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna presents himself from his higher nature also, from lower nature also. Para and apara, both he mentions. So avyakta means invisible. Indriyehi na vidyate iti avyaktam. That which is not available for sense perception, that is called avyakta murti. Murti means not a form here. The one who is not available as a form to our eyes is real nature of Bhagavan. Bhagavan word is used in Mandukya Karika also as Turiya Atma by Gaudapada Acharya. So Bhagavan can be taken as Nirgunam Brahma also, Sagunam Brahma also. So this Nirgunam and Sagunam. Nirgunam is higher nature, Sopadhika Brahma is called Sagunam. Sagunam Brahma alone is called Ishvara. Nirgunam Brahma alone is called higher nature Brahman. So Saguna and Nirguna. Nirguna Ishvara means Brahman. Maya Rahitam Brahma. Sagunam Brahma Ishvara. Sagunam Brahma means Ishvara. We need not say Saguna Ishvara. Ishvara means Sagunam. There is no Saguna Ishvara. Nirgunam Brahma, Sagunam Brahma. Sagunam Brahma is equal to Ishvara. So Ishvara is a mixture. Ishvara is a mixture of what? Original form is formless, avyaktam, avyaktamurti. Avyakta word is used for Maya also. Therefore, certain words are very loosely used. Seeing the context, we have to translate, we have to interpret. We should not take same meaning in every context. Then we will be in trouble. So, avyakta swarupam of Paramatma is not visible. It is not available for perception. Indriyaihi vejyati iti vyaktam. That which is perceptible is vyaktam. That which is not perceptible is avyaktam. Avyaktam is one feature. Avyaktaha. Number two, sarvagataha. Ishvara is all pervading. Sarvagataha, all pervading. And third feature is adhishtanam, the substratum. The essence, adhishtanam means the substratum. So, Ishvara is the adhishtanam of this universe. Number fourth feature is given paraha. Paraha means beyond. Paraha sadasad vilakshanaha. Sad asad vilakshanaha paraha. That is the meaning. Then fifth one is asangaha. Asangaha means not tainted by anything, not attached, not associated with anything. These are all analyzed elaborately. Each feature is very much elaborated for our understanding. Now we are going to see avyaktaha, sarvagataha, adhishtanam. Maximum features are coming in these two verses. Now I will give you the principle what is followed here on nyaya, that is called axiom. To understand these two verses, the axiom we have to apply is adhyaropa apavada nyaya. Adhyaropa apavada nyaya. Adhyaropa means superimposition. Apavada means negation. So in the two verses, adhyaropa also comes, apavada also comes. This is a method of teaching for communication to reveal that Ishvara, adhyaropa apavad. Why this method? Why we have to follow this method? Is it required? Yes, it is required. There is a shloka, adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate shishyanam sukhabodhaya tatvajnaihi kalpita kramaha. This is a kalpitam kramaha, a paddhati, a method, a technique used by tattvajnaihi, by the wise people, by jnanis, by acharyas, parampara acharyas. They use this method. Tattvajnaihi kalpita kramaha. Kalpitam, only just for teaching purpose. Kalpita. For what purpose? Sishyanam sukha bodhaya. For the easy understanding. For the sake of easy understanding, Sukhabodha means comfortably, easily can be grasped by Sishyas. Sishyanam Sukhabodhaya Tattvagnehi Kalpita Kramaha. What is that? Adhyaropa Apavada. Adhyaropa Apavadabhyam. By this axiom, Nyaya, Adhyaropa Apavada, superimposition, Adhyaropa, and Apavada, negation, this method is introduced for easy understanding of the students, seekers of moksha, seekers of liberation, those who want to study Shastra, for their sake it is introduced. Now, Adhyaropa Apavada is, we are going to see in this portion. So we have understood now Ishvara means is a mixture. Let us come to know this. Ishvara is also a mixture. Who is Ishvara? Who is God? So the entire Vedanta is around only three topics. Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat, triangle. Who is Jiva? Who is Ishvara? What is this universe? And what is the connection between these three? Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat, is there any connection? Are they three entities different? Or they are one? These three topics are only all over Vedanta, they come. There is no other topic. Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat. Whatever you use extra topics only to know the real nature. Because I, the individual, Jiva, is primary important person. And the world in front of me is also very important because I am interacting every day. And I do not know how I have come into this universe. How this universe has come, I do not know. But there is some power, almighty. Somebody might have created, we say God is there. Ishvara is there. Ishvara exists. The creator of this universe. Ishvara exists, the creator of this universe. You and I have not created sun, moon, stars, mountain, rivers, ocean, and the seasons. All these are not created by you, neither you nor me. But that's why we accept there is some power, mighty power. That power only we give name Ishvara, the Lord. Therefore, in Vedanta, we introduce God exists. Whoever believe in the existence of God is Astika. So you are all Astikas. You believe in the existence of God. Astika. God exists. Then what we believe? God created the world. Srishti Sthiti Laya Karta. So they introduce in the beginning, for beginners, Brahmaji is the Srishtikarta, Vishnu is the Sthitikarta, Shiva is Layakarta. So Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, three of them, Trimurtis. How we have understood in 7th chapter itself, we know Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, they are not separate. One Paramatma alone as creator is known as Brahma. One Paramatma alone, when he is doing the sustenance of this creation, he is called Vishnu. One Paramatma alone, when he is doing the function of dissolution, he is known as Maheshwara, Shiva. Therefore, there are no three entities. Trimurtis are nothing but the manifestation of Paramatma only. This is our understanding about Trimurtis. So we, all of us, know that there are no many gods. Even there is only one God, also we don't say, we say there is only God. This is a Ishvara Swarupam topic. Basic knowledge is required. There are no many gods. 33 crores of deities are the manifestation of one Paramatma. There is only God. Everything is Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything is Paramatma only for us. For us, Ishvara is sitting somewhere in the heaven or Kailasa or Vaikuntha, up above. No. According to our Upanishads, Vedas, here itself, you look into the shloka, how Krishna says. He borrows from Upanishad. That is avyaktaha, sarvagataha, all pervading. Not only heaven pervading or Vaikuntha pervading or Kailasa pervading. His original form is it is invisible and it's all pervading, sarvagataha, then adhishtanam, substratum. The content, the essence. Therefore, he says here in this shloka, we see, first I'll give the simple meaning, then we go into elaborate meaning. Idam sarvam. Before going to the word, let me complete that. God exists. God created the world. God became the world. World is nothing but God. So 4 statements. God exists, first statement. God created the world. How he created the world, with what material? He has not yet started the creation. There is no material to go and get some material. Generally, people say how God created the world. He created with Panchabhutas. Simple answer. Just like that they say. He created with Panchabhutas. Then next question will come again. Who created Panchabhutas? Therefore, we have to say God is creating this universe with the Panchabhutas. We should not say God became the world. God became the Panchabhutas. Before creation, there was nothing. Only Ishvara is there. Therefore, God exists. God created the world. God became the world. Once we say God became the world, God alone is, Ishvara alone is, instead of using the word God, we use the word Ishvara, better. Okay, Ishvara exists. Ishvara created the world. Ishvara means we should not take Lord Shiva here. Ishvara means Ish, to rule, the one who ruled the entire creation over lordship, that Ishvara. That Ishvara exists, created the world, became the world. Therefore, world is nothing but Ishvara. World is nothing but Ishvara. That's why everywhere we see Ishvara only. Every form is Ishvara's form. That is what in Vishwarupa Darshana Adhyaya Krishna says. Every form is my form. In Vibhuti Yoga, 10th chapter, 11th chapter. Therefore, how Ishvara became the world, Ishvara alone is the material cause and intelligent cause of this universe. Just like spider alone is the intelligent cause to create the web, spider web, and it never goes for material outside. It creates the material from inside, from its own body. So spider alone is the material cause, spider alone is the intelligent cause for spider web. Once a spider itself can do this job, why not Bhagavan? Ishvara also alone became the intelligent cause and material cause. He alone is the intelligent cause, nimitta karanam. He alone is the material cause also, upadana karanam. Nimitta karanam, upadana karanam. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam Ishvaraha. Ishvara is non-different from the intelligent cause and material cause of this universe. Ishvara alone is appearing as universe. Universe is not there separate from Ishvara. This is the vision of our scriptures. This is the vision we have received from our scriptures. By this vision, all the way we get a tremendous benefit later that Ishvara and myself are one and the same. I understand in our real essence, Atma Swarup. From Atma standpoint, Jivatma, I am, Paramatma, Ishvara, Parama and Jiva, they are only upadhis. They are only upadhis, temporary. Our real nature is Atma alone, Bhagatyaga Lakshana. So we arrive at that Mahavakya, Aham Jivatma Paramatma Eva, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. This is the culmination. Now we have understood the 5 features of Ishvara and how Ishvara created this universe. He became the universe. World is nothing but universe. So Ishvara, nature is what exactly? Ishvara is a mixture. Just like Jiva is a mixture, Ishvara is also a mixture. Mixture of what and what? Mixture there must be 2, more than 2 at least. Here, Ishvara is a mixture means Sat Chit Ananda, one part, and Maya. Maya is another part. Morning I said, in the morning session, I, the Jiva, also am Sat Chit, higher nature, higher I. Lower I is body-mind complex, avidya. This body-mind complex, matter, put together I am. Similarly, Ishvara also put together. It is an assemblage. Ishvara is an assemblage. Assemblage of what and what? Assemblage of higher nature, that is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupam, and Maya, matter, Prakriti. Maya is known as Kutam, Kutastha also. That Kuta is another name for Maya. Yesterday, one student asked a question. What is the difference between Kutastha and Ishvara? Are they one and the same? So I couldn't elaborate that time. I thought this this session is relevant for that answer. Therefore, I kept my answer for this session, complete answer. Kuta is a word. Kuta means deceptiveness, deceptive. Maya is called Kuta. The word Acharya explained in the 12th chapter, and that Kutastha word comes, then 15th chapter, 6th chapter. Acharya gives elaboration in that. Kuta is called Maya, which is very deceptive, which is enchanting. That Kuta word, Kutastha, is another meaning, is one word is Maya. Kuta means Maya. Kutastham means what? Ishvara is called Kutastha. Rarely we use, generally we don't use that. Kutastha means Ishvara. We say because who abides in the Maya. Who abides in Maya. It is not exact translation, but just very light translation. Who abides in Maya. It's called Kutastha. This is one way of presentation. Another way of presentation is Kuta means anvil. Just as the cobbler to prepare, to repair the chapel, he used the one anvil. These blacksmiths and all, when they want to turn the iron rods, they use an anvil which is very steady. That is called kuta. When something is steady, it is called kutam. A heap is also kuta. Rashi, which is steady, firm, is called kuta. That is also the meaning. Since Brahman is very steady, firm, he is called kutastha. Brahman also can be called as kutastha. But regularly we don't use that word. But literal meaning, if you see that way also. So Ishvara means Bhuvana. Kutastha plus Maya. Kutastha means Brahman. Then Kutavat Tishtati iti Kutastha. Kute Tishtati iti Kutastha. Who abide in Maya also. Really speaking, Brahman is not abiding in Maya. Maya is resting in Brahman. That is why immediate translation meaning if we give, we'll get confusion. That's why I need to explain all these ways. Kutastha can be called as Brahman. Kutastha can be called as Ishvara. So the meaning, the translation of each word, context-wise, we have to see. So Kutastha means Ishvara. We can take Kutastha means Brahman also. How we can take it? Because of the meaning. Kutavat tishtati, Kutastha Brahman. Kute tishtati, that who abide in Maya is also Ishvara. We can take. Maya is main Kuta. That is called Kuta. Kutastha. There is a different way of presentations. Now, let us come to the mixture, Maya. Maya, Yaha Masa Maya, which is not really there, it is called Maya. Maya is what? There are different names for Maya. Shakti, Avyakritam, Prakriti. All these are the names for Maya. Maya is the power of Brahman. Just as Nidra Shakti, you have the power, speaking power, seeing power, hearing power. Just as we have power, Ishvara also having, Brahman is having the Maya power. So Maya is having three features. Brahman having three features. Vidyaranya and Drigdrishya Viveka he presents. How this mixture? Asti bhati priyam rupam namachit amsha panchakam adyatrayam brahma rupam jagadrupam tatodvayam. Asti bhati priyam. Asti means sat. Bhati means chit, existence, consciousness. Priyam means ananda. Asti bhati priyam. Rupam nama. Asti bhati priyam rupam nama chet amsha panchakam. All these five components put together. Amsha panchakam. Adi trayam. Three, first three are Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam. Asti Bhati Priyam belongs to Brahman. Jagadrupam Tatodvayam. Other two, Nama Rupa belongs to Jagat. Nama Rupa belongs to Maya. Maya, Jagat, Nama Rupa. In Jagat there are five components are there. Asti Bhati Priyam plus Nama Rupa. That is called Jagat. Three of them are absolute reality. Two of them are relative reality. Since Ishvara is a mixture of Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti together. In Aparaprakriti there are three gunas are there. Maya means nothing but Trigunatmika Maya Asti. Maya is also beginningless. Brahman is also beginningless. Beginningless, both are beginningless, both are real. One is vyavaharically real, another is paramarthically real. Brahman is Paramarthika Satyam. Maya is Vyavaharika Satyam. Therefore, Maya, the Vyavaharika Satyam, Maya is the power of Brahman. Therefore, when Ishvara, the components, three components are Sat, Chit, Ananda plus Maya, Trigunatmika Maya, Prakriti, the 3 plus 2, Nama Rupa, all put together Ishvara, and become Jagat. So therefore he says here, look into the shloka now. Who is Ishvara? Ishvara is a mixture of para and apara. Apara means Maya, para means Satchit Ananda Swarupam, para Prakriti, higher nature. Idam Sarvam. Now look into the shloka. I'll give word to word meaning first, then we'll go into elaboration. Idam Sarvam Jagat Maya Tatam. Hey Arjuna, listen about my Swarupam, my nature. Because the previous verses, Lord Krishna said, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam. It is very easy, very, very easy, Sukham. You can easily understand this Ishvara Swarupam. It is not available for people who are having Asuya. That is given in third verse. Those who are having Shraddha, Bhakti alone can understand the Ishvara Swarupam. Those who are having the critical mind, critic means always seeing loopholes, always fault finding nature. That is called Asuya, the critical mind. That type of mind people always doubting, Ashraddhavan. That person can never understand Ishvara, Lord Krishna said. So, they, without knowing me, aprapyamam mrityu samsaram, they will enter into that. In third verse, he said, therefore, Arjuna, you understand my nature. Maya jagat. This idam jagat, sarvam, the entire universe, all this universe, nama, rupa, prapancha, maya tatam, pervaded by me, maya tatam. Tanu dhatu, tanu vistare, maya tatam, vyaptam ityartha. Vyapnoti iti sarvam, vyaptam, pervaded by me. Who am I? By me means avyakta murtina. Now you see avyakta murtina. It's not Krishna Shariram. Krishna Shariram. But unfortunately, many people read Bhagavad Gita, study Bhagavad Gita, looking at Krishna as apara prakriti, Shariram, as a Shariradhari. Because of adhikara, now levels of understanding, there is a lot of difference. People at their level, what they can understand, they understand. It is just like if you go near the ocean, if you take a small vessel, you get a little water. If you get little bigger vessel, more water. Bigger vessel, more water. Like that, all people come towards Bhagavad Gita. They understand according to their level only. Of course, Upanishads also teaching according to their level only. This meaning is also for junior students only. This Adhyaropa is for junior students. Apavada is for senior students. Apavada cannot be easily accepted by junior students. For them, it is only nice. Prahalada Stuti, you see, தூணிலும் இருப்பார் துரும்பிலும் இருப்பார் எப்படி இருப்பார் இருப்பாக இருப்பார் that sat rupena is all people cannot understand. That is why Lord Narsimha came in that pillar and he appears, Bhagavan's manifestation, Narsimha Avatara. These are all for junior students. It's required. It is very much required. until they understand that easiness, abstract form it is. It is not a concrete form. A concrete form can be easily grasped by certain level of students easily. So through that, slowly Shastra uplift them to the abstract form. To understand the abstract form, you need a concrete form. We should not throw above the concrete forms. Without concrete form, it's like a foundation. Without foundation, you cannot build a building, a palace. Similarly, we introduce Bhagavan in the form of a form. First, we introduce. Beautiful arrangement done by our scriptures. Unfortunately, we are not able to understand properly because our intellects are becoming so shallow, so shallow. To understand this teaching, it goes to really highest. Ramaraya Kavi writes elaborate Hasham. Finally, nothing is there. Even world superimposition, Adhyaropa, all these are only for beginners. They say to that heights we have to go. That comes very much later after studying a long time about studying Ishvara Upasana, after doing a lot of study about Ishvara. Later, after studying so much Adhyaropa, Apavada, all these things, Adhyaropa, Apavada, all these are only for learning people. Even world is superimposed, the world superimposed. All these are finally they negate. That is why all Vedanta teachers, we don't talk that much high philosophy to all beginners or even mediocre students also. It is not easy to grasp. Only teachers of Vedanta, those who have studied elaborately for a long time, they alone can understand. It is not for just communication, but the communication method, we have to come down to the level of the student and teach for a length of time. Even you want to jump and to try to understand that, you can never understand. Unless you go through these steps, you cannot understand the highest point of that. Because it needs a lot of acclimatization. It needs a lot of refinement in your understanding, in your clarity. It needs a lot of what you can call maturity. It needs. You cannot eat for 10 days to day itself. You can eat how much you can eat. That much only you can eat. For 3 days to 4 days, 5 days together, you can eat. You cannot. Similarly, Shastra also. You cannot understand the highest one without going through proper process. That is why for the level of students, here Krishna means not Shariram, that Krishna Shariram, not Vasudeva Krishna. Lord Krishna talking from his higher nature. That we have to see. That's why from the consciousness standpoint, he is talking. Please remember. This is very difficult to remember. As we study, Krishna is talking, Krishna Bhagavan talking. That who is wearing flute and keeping that pincham and all, and wearing nice dress, a lot of, he looks so beautiful. No? All this comes in our mind because we are so attracted to that form. But we are not knowing his real nature. At least after coming to Bhagavad Gita, or Adharam Madhuram, Vadanam Madhuram, all these are features, saguna, people are attracted. Just like a screen. Screen is the adhara for the movie. Nobody appreciate the screen. Everyone appreciate what? Everyone appreciate movie. Attracted to movie, enchanted by movie, become one with the movie and moves also later. None of us appreciate This movie is resting on the screen. This movie is possible only because of screen. How many of us we are remembering, and how many of us are appreciating the screen? At least you enjoy movie, doesn't matter. Of course, movie is only for entertainment, but at least once in a while appreciate the screen also. Similarly, the whole Jagat is like a movie. Bhagavan, the higher nature, Sat Chit Ananda is like a screen. What is there in screen? So empty screen. Who will enjoy? Who will appreciate? Blank screen. That is the Maya. So movie is like Maya. Movati iti movie. It moves you. Maya is also a movie. Okay, let us come to the sloka now. Maya tatam. This whole universe is pervaded by me. Sarvagatam tat tanu vistare vyaptam. Who is Avyaktamurtina, whose form is unmanifest. Avyaktamurti means Ishvara's form that is beyond objectification. That is the meaning of Avyaktamurtina. Ishvara's form that is beyond objectification. Sarva Bhutani, all beings are Masthani, all are in me. From Abrahma Pipilikanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini. Shankaracharya says in Manisha Panchakam. So, Adhishtanam ityartha. Masthani means Tatam means Sarvagatam feature is given. And Avyakta Murtina means Avyakta feature is given. And Masthani means Adhishtanam feature is given. Mat, the Panchami, Asmat Shabdaha. Mat, Sthani, Mat Sthani. They are all in me. Masthani, Sarva Bhutani. This is Adhyaropa, superimposition. All are in me. Still, Aham na teshu avasthitaha. Still, I am not in them. I am not in them. From here only the problem starts, confusion for us. If it is at the time of Srishti, I am there. At the time of Pralaya, they are not in me, means it is understandable. Hey Arjuna, all beings are in me at the time of creation. They are, I am not in them. And at the time of Pralaya, it is okay. But Bhagavan says in the same line, Masthani Sarva Bhutani, without much gap also, we will get a lot of confusion. Nachaham teshu avasthitaha. Really speaking, I am not in them. This is called paradox. This is called Adhyaropa Apavada. So Apavada aham na teshu avasthitaha. Apavada. Masthani Sarva Bhutani is Adhyaropa, superimposition. First superimposition, then negation. Then we'll go to second, next verse, fifth verse. Nacha masthani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram. So this fourth verse, the overall meaning is all this universe is pervaded by me. Maya tatamidam sarvam. By me, whose form is unmanifest. Then the second line is what? All beings are in me, still I am not in them. All beings are in me, still I am not in them. This sentence needs a lot of explanation, clarity, further, we had hair splitting analysis goes. Then next fifth verse is what? Nachamasthani bhutani. So, in fact, the Chakara says, in fact, really speaking, Nachamasthani, beings are not in me. Just now he said, they are in me. Now he says, they are not in me. That is why Krishna is confusing. Krishna is not confusing. We are not having that much sharp intellect to understand that you need a guru and shastra who can unfold this. That is Nachamasthani. This is the another future, fourth feature, Paraha ityartha. Paraha means I am beyond. Sadasad vilakshanam. Nachamasthani means they are not in me. I will explain later the meaning. It's just I'm giving a simple meaning. Therefore, Arjuna, no. Now what you have to do? Me Aishwaram Yogam Pashya. See my divine yoga. Divine yoga means what here? My Shakti. Ishwarasya Iyam Aishwaram. My divine Shakti means Yoga Shakti, Maya. Maya Shakti, Yoga Shakti. Here, yoga means Trigunanam Ghatanam with yoga. Yoga Shakti means Aishwaram, Yogam means that whole Jagat is my Maya power which has got Aishwaram Gunam. Yogam, that is three gunas, combination of three gunas. See my divine yoga. Mama Atma Bhuta Bhavanaha. I myself am the creator of beings. Bhuta Bhavanaha. Bhutani Bhavayati. Srijati iti Bhuta Bhavanaha. I am the creator of beings. My higher nature, Yathartha Atma Tattvam. Mama Atma means my higher nature, Yathartha Atma Tattvam. Asangaha, that is Asangaha feature, myself. Para Prakriti ityartha, that is, I am the creator of this universe. Then what? Bhuta Bhrit Aham, I am the sustainer of beings. I am the sustainer of beings. Then Na Bhutasthaha, again complication. What is that? But not in the beings. I am the creator of the beings. I am the sustainer of all beings, but I am not in the beings. I am not supported by them. I am not in the beings means I am not supported by them. They are supported by me, really speaking. I am not supported by them. This is a literal meaning of these verses. Now let us go into our how we can understand this. The Ishvara Tattvam, Para and Apara, higher order of reality, lower order of reality can never come in contact, really speaking. If you want to understand this, understand your Nidra Shakti. You are the creator of your dream. You are the sustainer of your dream. You are the dissolver of your dream. Let us study dream. Okay. Later we will see that how Dashtanta. Drishtanta first, let us understand. Same like that only. There is no much difference. Some few differences may be there, but very close example. Swapna Drishtantaha. I, the waker, have the power of Nidra Shakti. With my Nidra Shakti, when I go to Nidra, with that Nidra Shakti, I project my dream. I create my dream. Having projected the dream, after creating my dream, what I do, I sustain in the dream. I allow the dream to sustain with the dream objects. dream to go for a few minutes, few seconds. Finally, when I withdraw my Maya Shakti, that is Nidra Shakti, projection, the mind stops projecting. I go into deep sleep or I wake up. Then that Swapna goes away. Swapna goes away. Over. Swapna over. Now tell me, your projection of the dream and your sustenance of the dream and the dissolution of the dream, does it exist separate from you? No, it is not existing separately. Objects, dream objects are not separately coming somewhere. No, they are all projected from you only. They are sustained by you only. And they all gone into you only. Are really gone? Really dream objects gone into you? Question yourself. There are no dream objects to enter, go inside, to merge, to dissolve. Why? Because there are no dream objects really to dissolve. Why? Because they are unreal. How can you say unreal? You have experience. Yes, I have experience, but I cannot give reality to them. Why? I don't know. And you got fear, you are running in the dream and thirst, hunger, everything you felt. Exactly. For a dreamer, dream is not a dream. For a dreamer, dream is not a dream. Dream is vyavaharikam. For a dreamer, it is real. Dream thirst is required what water? Dream water. He was happy by drinking dream water. Dream food. For dream hungry, dream food. All those happen after you wake up immediately. Once you withdraw the Nidra Shakti, what happened to entire dream? Is it the same Satta? Vyavaharika Satta, you the waker, and the dreamer, dream world, dream objects, dream experience, are they equal? If they are equal, if you see a girl that dream, suppose you are unmarried, a brahmachari, if you want to marry, happily she will come and marry. Dream girl. But unfortunately, it will never happen. Suppose you want lot of money, you saw a lot of money, you got a lot of money in dream. So early morning, everywhere money, it can appear. But that is not fact, that is not happening. Dream money is useless, dream girl is useless, dream water is useless in waking thirst, water problem continues. You know very well that is unreal. You don't know it is Pratibhasika Satta, projected reality. You may not know the words, but all of us know what one thing that is unreal. Formally we say it is unreal. It is not useful. Even though it is experienced by me, it is not useful. Same way. You are the jiva, the individual with your Nidra Shakti. When you are able to project the entire dream world and sustain the dream world, of course you became the creature of that dream world. And sometimes people cry also in that dream. Therefore, you are different from that dream. Your power it is, your Nidra power. What to talk of Ishvara? Ishvara also by his Maya Shakti, he creates. We don't say project. He creates. He creates this entire universe. But universe Just as the dream world is not separate from you, dream objects are not separate from you. Similarly, this entire Jagat, which is created by God, Ishvara, is not separate from Ishvara. He is the sustainer of this Nama Rupa Jagat. He is the dissolver of Nama Rupa Jagat. So, Srishti Sthiti Laya Karta, these are all for teaching purpose we introduce. But happily people enjoy that the teaching is required. As a Srishti Sthiti Laya Karta, Bhagavan, creator, sustainer, destroyer. At that time, at the lesson listening time, they are all happy. Very, very happy, enjoying. But Shastra want to uplift us further. Ishvara means who is Ishvara, who is the creator, what he created, how much real it is. Just as your projected dream is less real than your waking state, similarly, Paramatma, the higher nature, Para Prakriti is absolute Satyam, Paramarthika Satyam, creates the Vyavaharika Satya Jagat through his Maya power. How much real? How much your dream is real? How much your dream is real? How much your dream objects are real? Not real. Same way. Nama, Rupa, Karma, all forms are also that much real from Paramarthika Satyam standpoint. That is called Krishna here. Vasudeva, what Ramaraya Kavi gives the meaning? Vasati, in the form of existence. Devaha, Divyati, Prakasheti, Prakashate, Swayam Prakasha Swarupaha. The one who lends existence to this Avaharika Jagat. Who gives existence, who lend the existence to dream world? You the waker. You the waker give the lending existence to the dream world. Similarly, Satchit Ananda Rupa Paramatma Para Prakriti, absolute reality, Paramarthika Satyam, that is Brahman. The Ishvara, both are there mixture. His Maya Shakti one side and his Satchit Ananda higher nature. So Satchit Ananda higher nature without undergoing any change. Vivarta Upadana Karan. Brahman without undergoing any change create this universe. Similarly, just as you, the waker, without undergoing any change, you have created, projected the dream. Have you gone any undergoing any change while you are projecting the dream with Nidra Shakti? You are intact. Dream object didn't touch you. Without undergoing any change, you became Vivarta Upadana Karanam of your dream. Why not Brahman? Brahman is the Vivarta Upadana Karanam with Maya Shakti appears as the universe. Just as you say dream objects are not in me, I am in them because I have projected the dream. Dream objects are there sustained, but they are really in you. They are really in you? No. Similarly, here, Lord Krishna, from his higher nature, he is telling, I am the creator of this universe, is Adhyaropa. Immediately, in the second line, he says, they are not in me. They are not in me really. No, I am not in them. They are in me. That he said in first line, second line of fourth verse. Masthani sarva bhutani adhyaropa. Then aham bhuteshu na avasthita. I am not in them really. That is the meaning here. Now let us, this is called seeming existence. Seeming existence, apparent existence. Okay, that is the meaning. Like your dream world, you remember. So therefore, supporter. Nirguna Ishvara is Sarvagatam Vyapakam. Nirguna Ishvara is Sarvagatam Vyapakam. Nirguna Ishvara is Jagadadishtanam. You have to take like I am in them, they are in me. And you should not take like water is in the pot, in the vessel. I am in the world. Bhagavan is all pervading. Bhagavan is in the world means don't take just like there is vessel. In the vessel, water is there. You should not take that example. Just like water is in the vessel, Ishvara is in the world. No. What example you have to take? Wave, water you have to take. There is no wave other than water. Water, wave satta is nothing but water. That water is, that isness, wave is nothing but water. Another name for water. That example you have to take. Therefore, world is another name for Brahman. World is another name for Brahman. So we'll see some corollaries here. The lesson number 1, that name is isness borrowed from the water in the example. Similarly, so water abhave, wave abhavaha. If water is not there, where is wave? This is one corollary. Second one is that Narayana appearing in the pillar in the form of easiness for senior students. Narayana is in the form of easiness. Those who cannot grasp that easiness, Narayana, Narsimhavatara form is required. Childlike maturity people, it is difficult for all people cannot grasp easily because person to person differs. Every person is different from their understanding, grasping. According to their level, they understand. So that we have to keep in our mind. We should not see the whole teaching is for same mindset people. Different mindset people, Veda, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita is addressing. According to their level, they understand. If they understand step by step higher, they are benefited by that. They elevate themselves, they mature, they refine themselves. Further higher step, automatically you are pulled to that. If you are prepared, as long as your mind is not settled, your intellect is not sharp enough, better to continue in the lower level, junior level. That is why you spend more time in Shastra, more time you are dwelling, more and more you are listening, and proper systematically, more clarity comes. That is the idea. Therefore, there is no contact between Bhagavan and world. There is no contact between Bhagavan and world because world is not there other than Bhagavan. Can you have contact with your dream objects? Can contact? No, because they are not separate from you. If there are two, you can contact. If there are no two things, how can you contact? So Bhagavan alone became the world. Bhagavan alone appearing as the world. There is no second thing. Just like rope snake example, we'll see. The rope and snake can each other. Congrats. Rope snake, our rope snake. No. Snake is not there. Snake after knowledge or snake is not there or before knowledge itself. Before rope knowledge, there was a snake. Before knowledge, rope knowledge, is there a snake? No. No, after knowledge, after rope knowledge, snake has gone. Where it has gone? It's not there to go. Snake is not there. Rope alone is in the form of snake appearing. Snake is nothing but what is appearing to you is nothing but rope. I'm giving gap deliberately so that you can think. Snake is a word. Even adhyasa, when you are telling, adhyasa kali, when I superimpose, snake appears, but snake is not there. What you are using the word snake is nothing but rope. Snake disappears, snake dissolves. If it is there only, it has to disappear, it has to dissolve. But we use the words, it goes away. We use the word in the class when we talk about the snake. It goes away when you get the Rajjugyanam. As though we have done big invention. It goes where it goes. If it is there only, it has to go. It is not there. Rope alone was, rope alone is. While you are seeing it as snake time, also you are seeing the rope only. Once you get rope knowledge, complete knowledge, you understand there is no snake. What I was seeing as snake is nothing but rope only. Example clear? Now come to the Ashtanta. In the place of snake, you put the world. World is superimposed. Snake was superimposed on the rope. After rope knowledge, snake has gone. Now Adhyaropakale, what we say? World is superimposed on Ishvara. This is Adhyaropa. Once you get knowledge, you understand the whole world is Ishvara, Bhagavan. What you were seeing the world previously as world, at that time also it is Ishvara Tattvam only. Sadrupena, Chidrupena, Namarupa is uncountable. It is Mithya Namarupa. You see, each and every object you analyze, and threadbare analysis you take out. Cloth, for example, take threads, all threads out, separate the thread. Where is cloth? Similarly, tree object is not there, only branches, leaves are there. Tree object is not there, table object is not there. Single object by itself is not there, including your body. This body, tangible, so many cages, body is also nothing but conglomeration, assemblage of some flesh and bones. Even flesh and bones are nothing but particles, molecules. Analyze your own body. What you are serving every day to this body. That is why every object you take is this. That's why one part we can show in our class. We cannot show entire all objects. Part object is not there. While seeing pot, while holding the pot. Similarly, world is created by Bhagavan, world is sustained by Bhagavan. All these for beginners. That is why Lord Krishna says, really they are not in me. Really they are not in me. Therefore, avyakta murtina maya idam sarvam jagat tatam sarvam bhutani masthani bhavanti parantu aham teshu na avasthitaha. I am not in them. I give an example, one more example. I think today time is not sufficient. I will see. Gold give existence to bangle. Bangle is in the gold, or gold is in the bangle. Bangle word, rupam, Nama Rupam cannot exist without gold. But gold can exist without bangle Nama Rupa. Say before gold is telling, I am in that bangle. Really speaking, I'm not in the bangle means I'm not depending upon the bangle for my existence. That is what Krishna meant here. I'm not in them. Sarva bhuteshu nasthitaha means I'm not depending upon them for my existence. Masthani sarva bhutani. But Lord Krishna says what in 5th verse you see? Nachamasthani. They are not really there. Why? They are Vyavaharika Satyam. I am Paramarthika Satyam. How can we contact each other? How is it possible? As though Krishna is confusing us, we think, not understanding the order of reality. Not understanding the reality. They are Nachamasthani. They are not in me, really speaking. Just as all dream objects are in you. Tell me. Once Krishna says, we argue with Krishna, question Krishna, why he can say like this, how can he say like this, why he says like this, we ask. What about you? I said, I have to give questions. Okay, let us see, I'll conclude. Okay, how Lord Krishna mislead us. You are telling, are the dream objects are in you? Similarly, Lord Krishna says, they are not in me. Because orders of reality is different. Both are different. Like that we have to understand. So, what is this? Here, Karya Karana Sambandha, that is appreciated here. Ishvara is the Karana, Jagat is Karyam. This Karya Karana Sambandha can be appreciated in two ways. So, Karanam Brahma is Adharam, supporter. Karyan Jagat is Adheyam, supported. This Karya Karanam is also only for teaching purpose, remember. This is one point. Then second also, the essence of Karyam is nothing but Karanam. Suppose you take this whole world is Karyam, product, okay. Karyam cannot exist without Karanam. Therefore, Karana Ishvara is alone appearing as the universe Karyam. Karyam doesn't exist separate from the Karanam, cause. Ornament cannot exist separate from the gold. Any effect cannot exist separate from its cause. Correct? That is why Lord Krishna says, Nastamasthani. They are not really in me because of orders of reality difference. Brahman is in everything when we say, Brahman is in everything when we say Antaryami. Antaryami, inner content, inner essence. Satta Rupena. That's what Tyagaraja sang. Satta Matrama Chalanam Mitini. You are the Satta, you are the essence, you are lending existence to this Nama Rupa Prapancha. Just as you have given existence to the dream world, Ishvara is the one who gives Satta to this world. Vyavaharika Jagat. Just okay. Therefore, Satya Mithya, there is no real sambandha. Bhagavan, the Satyam, Sat Chit Ananda is Paramarthika Satyam. Mithya Nama Rupa, Maya Jagat, there is no sambandha. Not possible. Okay. So, like your dream body and waking body cannot have sambandha. Similarly. Okay. Every time when you question, immediately I pose to the dream world. You have to go to that. So, Ekameva tadaneka karanam arya karana nirasa. We have to negate final. It's Viveka Chudamani Acharya says, Ekameva tadaneka karanam karanantara nirasa karanam karya karana vilakshanam yat brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. That Brahman, you are the Atma. So world is in Brahman, that is Vishwadharam for teaching purpose. Brahman is in the world, Antaryami. So world is not in Brahman. Brahman is not in the world, really speaking. Brahman is not in the world is not in Brahman. What it means? That is what Krishna said, because there is no world. There is no world at all. This is called apavada. So, sarva bhuteshu na avasthitaha. Sarva bhuteshu avasthitaha adhyaropa. Nacha aham teshu avasthitaha is apavada. Now, four statements I'll conclude within 2 minutes. What are the four statements? Masthani sarva bhutani adhyaropa. Sarva bhuteshu aham. This is Karikarana Sambandha. Okay, Sarva Bhutesh Aham, both together Adhyaropa statements. Then third statement, Nachamasthani Bhutani. Third statement, this is Apavada. Nachamasthani Bhutani. Apavada. Aham Sarva Bhuteshu Na. This is Apavada. This is also Karyakarana Sambandha Apavada. Now, final statement is third statement, that is Nachamasthani Bhutani, third statement negating the first statement. Masthani Sarva Bhutani. Nachamasthani Bhutani, third statement negating the Masthani Sarva Bhutani, first statement. Similarly, the fourth statement, Aham Sarva Bhuteshu Na, that fourth statement negating the second statement, Sarva Bhuteshu Aham Apavada. So, Adhyaropa Apavada is the content here. So, world is not there really. That is what Lord Krishna meant, as though seeming world experientially there, but not real. So, what Krishna taught, this Grantha Granthi Shloka, very, very tough to understand. It takes time more and more, gives clarity. After further contemplation on it. With this, I conclude. So, Pashyame Yogameshwaram. All these four statements only the main Grantha Granthi topic. Other words are all not very much important, but I have given the meaning. So, I have concluded this Grantha Granthi Shloka also. So, totally 4 verses we have done for this 4 sessions. I'm very happy, and I wish all the Advaita Academy team for arranging this program weekend sessions. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you very much, Swaminiji. It was a wonderful session, very enlightening, and so many things to learn. I'm sure all of our audience have deeply benefited from the session. Since we are almost out of time, I just request you to take up just one question that we have received. This is from some anonymous attendee. The question is, when we say God created the world, a question comes, why did God create the world? I think this is a very common question. I mean, what was the need for Ishvara to create the world, so to speak? Please shed light.
See, there are different levels of answers for this. So, when the person asks this question, there is God need not create the world. God's sake, He has not created the world. For Jiva's karmas to exhaust, their punya papa, they have to exhaust for their purpose. We have only asked Ishvara, this shariram, by our punya papa karma. This is the teaching of our Shastra, Karma Siddhanta. So it is not the whims and fancies of God to create this universe. We have asked, because of our Punya Papa Karma, to exhaust, we need a body. Therefore, this body is a Karma Phalam. Ishvara is only Karma Phala Data. So as the giver of karma phalam, he has to create jivas. For jiva's sake, he has to give lot of things for food, water, and all. So many he has to provide. Bhogya prapancha is required for bhokta. Therefore, he has created Bhogya Prapancha for the Bhokta Jivas only. So we are only have given the job for Ishvara to create this universe. And we are asking, telling Bhagwan why he created this world. You only have asked because of your Punya Papa Karma. Okay. Therefore, Jivas are only responsible for this Jagat.
Thank you, Swaminiji. I think a lot of people have difficulty in reconciling this. I think even in philosophy, this is a big discussion on
Yeah,
itself.
there is another answer for this actually, higher answer. That I should not give for this question. This is
Perhaps
junior question, junior answer.
perhaps we can do a separate session on that
Yeah,
particular topic
yes, yes,
in
yes.
future.
That we are not supposed to give. That is secret answer.
Thank you again, Swaminiji, for giving us your time, and hopefully we can do more sessions like this in future.
I will say thank you. Thank
Thank you very much.
you. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
All right.
Viewers, with this we come to the conclusion of yet another Weekend with Wisdom. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We have a Facebook discussion group as well, and we will keep you posted about events that we will be doing regularly. With this, we end the session. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Hari Om.